Harper, I have some really bad news to tell you.
What? What kind of bad news do you have for me?
For the 4th of July, it looks like my older brother and his wife are coming home to celebrate with us.
What? So this time they're coming back here then?
Yeah. They've always been talking about how they'd never be coming back to my mom and dad's for anything, so I was sure that it was from the two of them. But for some reason, they've both gone and changed their minds, and are coming back here now during that week.
So they'll be here for the whole week of the 4th then?
Well, not that whole week, but it's going to feel like that. They were telling me 3 days will be the length that they stay.
That's a long time when it comes to those two. Well, this just means that we have a lot of preparing that we'll both have to do before they get here.
I'm sure that you still have some pretty bad memories of those two from before, but let's just try our best to make this time go as quickly as possible while they're here. How does that sound? I've also made sure to tell my brother to tell his wife not to say anything too awful to you this time around. So let's both hope that he follows through with what I asked.
I see. I guess it has been a long time since the last time I was around her, so hopefully things are a lot better now. But she really did a number on me because she thinks that she has the right to look down on me for being this so-called elite. Your brother is also a bit like that with you from time to time, right?
I think for both our sakes, we should try our best not to think too much about what they say about us, alright? My brother's always been a pain in the butt about that stuff, and I'm used to it now. But I'm sure you're not used to it yet. Especially when his wife is just like him, talking trash about anyone and everyone that's not an elite. It's shocking.
It really is quite shocking to say the least. But it's so crazy that they both talk themselves up so much, but when your mom was having a hard time, neither of them came back home to help her out. Yet on the 4th of July of all times, they want to come home?
My brother doesn't really care for family matters like most. You could say he's the black sheep in our family when it comes to showing any care for others. Anyway, my mom is pretty stressed right now, getting things together for when they both arrived, and you might have to help her out with some of it. Just remember that I'm around, and that I can help with anything if you need it.
Understood. For the time being, I'll handle things with your mom. I'll also try my best to prepare food for the 4th, since I'm sure most restaurants and such will be packed.
Sounds good. And remember that you don't have to stress yourself out too much when it comes to cooking. If you want, you can even buy some pre-made things from the store, and we can all enjoy that.
All right. I'll think about what I want to do a little, and we can go from there. From what I've heard, you're the parasite living in Jaden's parents' house. Excuse me? Oh, hi, Mila. Long time no see. We'll only be staying there for the briefest moment, but it makes total sense that you and Jaden would be the types to have still lived at their parents' house. I think the word parasite works best when describing what the two of you are to his parents. What are you trying to get at here, Mila? This will be the first time my husband and I come back to his parents' house in the past 2 years, so make sure you both give a little to this family by preparing everything for our arrival. I'm sure you want for everything to be high class for the two of you when you get here, but due to Jaden's mom not doing so well recently, things will be pretty basic this 4th of July. Why are you giving me such stupid excuses right now? What? Stupid excuses? Jaden's mom is doing just fine, and I know it. Don't start giving me BS excuses like that just because you don't want things to get done the right way. That's not what I had meant by any of that at all. When you both get here, I'll make sure to explain everything to you guys about what's been going on here. But please be aware that at the moment, we won't have a ton of things set up here for you both besides the basics. However, I'm thinking that both of Jaden's parents will be excited to have you guys here for 3 days, so it's going to be a fun holiday. I hope you're both looking forward to your stay as well. Hey, what was that you served us yesterday for dinner? Are you trying to play games with the two elites staying in this house now? What are you talking about? You and your husband both ate what I made for you guys, right? What ended up being a problem to you about what was for dinner? I'm talking about how you, the wife of my little brother-in-law, cooked dinner in the house that you're a parasite in. What the hell do you think you're doing, making such awful-tasting foods for everyone to eat here? Our mother-in-law didn't even say anything about it either. Is that not strange to you? And by the way, we just came home to be with you all for the 4th of July. You should be celebrating us both coming home with caviar and filet mignon. What is going on here? All of your cooking was just god-awful. I don't think anything about my cooking was awful yesterday. I made sure to put a lot of thought into it and everything. I don't give a crap how much thought you were putting into it. We are the customer right now, correct? I want better service than that while we're staying here. From what I understand, you both are just back here for the 4th, right? Why do you think of yourselves as being some kind of customers here? I'm not running this place like it's a hotel or anything. Excuse me? What did you just say to me? What I'm trying to say is that I have no idea why you're getting so upset over absolutely nothing. What are you trying to do by bullying me just because I'm living in my husband's parents' house with them? Does this have to do with me being better at cooking than you? You're not good at cooking. There's no way you'll ever be as good as I am either. What you made for all of us last night was atrocious, completely disgusting and inedible. What? That doesn't... I suppose that's what dinner is like in a house where the wife cannot cook even a simple dish. I want you to praise my husband and I for not vomiting during that whole meal last night. It was like eating raw garbage. Next time, I want to see a plate of perch or something for dinner. I think you're going a bit too far calling my cooking raw garbage like that. I don't believe you have the right to even be complaining about my cooking like that. I'm thinking it's time you just settle down and let me cook what I have planned out for us and be happy that you're being fed anything at all while you stay here. So annoying. What makes you think you can talk to me like that after the show you gave us yesterday? In this house, I'm above you by a long shot, so you shut up. I'm the wife of the older brother, after all. We chose to give his parents the gift of having us home for a few days this summer, and we're being thanked with terrible cooking like that? We can't eat such garbage again, so tonight I was to have caviar, perch, and filet mignon for dinner, you dumb witch.
You are not allowed back in my house ever again now.
What was that?
You stop all that whining right now. You are a complete idiot for talking to my daughter-in-law like that. Why do you find it acceptable to be talking to Harper in such a vexing tone, Mila? You haven't done anything for my family yet, so you have no place to talk. And as for that dinner, which was cooked last night, my sick wife was the one that made it for all of us. She may be very sick right now, but she didn't want to make Harper do all the cooking for us, so she took it upon herself. She did all of that thinking about you and my son.
Hold on for a second. What are you going on about now? Is this you, Rob?
That's right. And you seem to think it's all right to make such comments about my wife's cooking. But instead of going to her to make such complaints, you've sat there taking it all out on Harper for no reason at all. You and your husband don't ever need to come back to our house ever again. No, you won't be. You're both kicked out of here for good.
Wait, calm down for a second, Rob. What's happened to you today that's made you get so upset like that? Normally you're so calm and level-headed when it comes to your conversations with me. It's like I'm not talking to the father-in-law I've known at all right now.
What was that? I have no idea what you're talking about. I may be kind and calm, but when someone is complaining about my family, like you've been, I cannot sit around and let you continue with it. I am tired of you and my oldest always acting like such privileged trash. Therefore, I'm cutting ties to the both of you.
Just calm down for a second, all right, Rob? I think you have the completely wrong idea of what's going on here.
I don't think my idea of what's been going on here is wrong in any way. I have seen enough of how you treat Harper while around her, and this time was too much. You always seem to be a witch to her, but today was the last straw. I cannot watch any of what you're doing anymore.
What? Did I say something wrong?
After laying into her as much as you've been, you're going to sit there acting like you said nothing wrong? What the hell is this about you being some kind of customer here? Thinking you can boss her around like that? I am completely tired of that behavior from someone as useless as yourself.
I'm sorry, but you do not need to be getting that angry with me.
If this is the way you behave when coming around your in-laws, then my son must be the same around here as well. Don't bother coming back to my house again. I mean it, okay?
I'm asking you to just hold on, Rob. Listen to what I have to say, please. I am so sorry about that. I didn't think you, of all people, would get that upset over what I was saying to her. As you can see, Rob is pretty furious with you guys right now. Is this you again, Harper? What the hell is going on here? Did you go out telling Rob things that you shouldn't be talking about with others? Was the person I just talked with really him in the first place? That was him. I have no reason to fake being him as of right now. Then tell me why he, of all people, was using your smartphone to text me when you and I were in the middle of a conversation. Have you been showing him our conversation this whole time or something? You're awful. I'm awful? The only reason you have such a problem with me having shown him what you're saying is because you're being a total jerk to me. If I'm going to be the awful one, then I guess that makes you a complete dick or something. What do you think about that? Did you just call me a dick? I sure did. And that's because your behavior resembles one perfectly. So after having to sit here and take all that crap from you, I went and spoke with Rob about it. And, well, you kept on sending me texts while I was talking to him about you, so I showed him what you were saying. And that's what ended up sending him into a frenzy like that, but he's totally right about what he's told you. He's right for that? I'm not joking around right now, idiot. He was saying things like for us to leave and to never come back to his house. Why the hell would he be saying things like that about my husband and I? What? If you wanted to continue staying here with us, then perhaps you should have been a better person while around here. I think there were plenty of things in this house that needed to be done while you were here, and those things did not include you bullying me about the cooking I never did. What are you trying to say? Well, I'm just saying that you seem to think you're worth a whole lot more than me to this family, and that's why you think you can harass me. But is that really the case? Huh? What is this all about? Your attitude is changing as well now, just like Rob's. From what it looks like to me, you assumed that Rob actually liked you as his son's wife, and that it meant you could do and say whatever you liked while around us. But in reality, I've been the one caring for Jaden's mom here, and both her and Rob love me so much for it. Caring for her? Why are you caring for someone like her? You have no clue what's been going on here then, huh? She ended up really hurting her back in a bad way, which required me to be here in order to care for her while Rob's been going to work. Huh? I never heard anything about her needing someone here all the time to care for her. I am sure Rob told your husband this a while back as well, when things first went downhill for her. But you and your husband never really care to talk about the family, now do you? That's not true. We just don't like to talk about useless things between us. Don't say things like that when it's regarding your mother-in-law. I have been living here with Jaden for the past 6 months now, caring for his mom, all right? That's why, for the 4th of July, while you both came home, she wanted to change things up and prepare food for all of us. For half a year now, she hasn't really been doing anything on her own, and so she wanted to have something to look forward to. And so that's why she did her very best to make dinner for us all last night. Well, all that food last night was like something a college student would cook, so I assumed you were the one that made it all. Sorry that I mistook who was cooking. Had I known that she was the one who cooked all that food, I would have never complained about any of it. Stop trying to make up excuses now. All you do when it comes to this family is ignore what's happening between all of us and say whatever the heck you want without a care in the world. And because of that, this time, you really made Rob get upset with you. Well, it wasn't my fault he got mad. I didn't know that our mother-in-law was dealing with back problems, and only telling me about things now is a huge pain in the butt for me. Well, I suppose no matter what I have to say to you now, you and your husband's fates are sealed. Rob is going to talk with her about you guys right now, and after today, they are both cutting ties to you guys. Both you and your husband will no longer be allowed back in this house, nor back in this family. What are you going on about there? What are you trying to say we did to you all? You're going to make me say it again? This is what it must be like to be a 3rd grade teacher then. When it comes to the two of you, you both don't care about what happens in the family, nor do you bother to help out. And after 2 years of never coming home, you both show up and think you can act like you're our guests. And not only that, but you also look down on both myself and on Jaden, trying your guys' best to make us feel horrible. And then you think that you can treat me like a slave, calling me a parasite just because we're both living here now? I'm the older brother's wife, so I think I'm allowed to do all of that. It's totally fine for me to treat you both like that from time to time. What kind of thinking is that? It's like you have your head up your butt or something. I'm not going to talk with you anymore if you're thinking of yourself like that all the time. To both my in-laws, I happen to actually be their family now. And since I'm a part of their family, I'm not going to continue talking to you about them, especially when they see you as nothing more than strangers now. I can't wait for today to be over so that we no longer have to think of you both. I don't care if you cut ties to us. But are both my husband's parents really going to do that to us? Well, that's what it's looking like now after what kind of crap you pulled today. Even Rob said it to you himself that he's cutting ties to the both of you. I don't think he can deal with you guys anymore, and he'd much rather love Jaden and I over you two. Wait a second! Then what about the plans for the house? What plans for the house are you talking about? Rob was telling us before that he'd help both of us pay for the new house we're planning on building. We had that all planned out between one another, but does him cutting ties with us mean those plans are off now? There's no way in hell that's the case, right? Please tell me that's not the case for us right now. I've been so excited about having a house built for us that I've gone around bragging about it to everyone. Well, thinking about what's been said here today, I'm pretty sure those plans are dead now. What? I'm not sure what's going to end up happening after today, but he did say that he was cutting ties to the both of you. So I'm just going to say it outright, but it would be wild if he still helped you both pay for a new house to be built after cutting ties. I really don't think he's planning to help either one of you now. No way. It's all because of you, Harper, that the plans for my dream house are gone. Is that what's going to happen here? I've been waiting for so long to have that new house be built for us, and you're saying Rob won't help us now? What has all of that holding back I've been doing for? Holding back? Well, maybe you should have tried a little better at being a good daughter-in-law so that you'd be given some money for the house. I was being a good wife, but after harassing you just a little bit, all of that time spent faking my happiness in this family was for nothing. This is all your fault, every little bit of it. You stop it right now trying to blame me for you being such a pile of crap, witch. I like to think you not getting some money for a new house to be built is what you deserve. Haven't you always been bragging to me about how you both are so-called elites? Something to do with your husband being on the path to becoming the CEO of the company he's working for? You continue to speak about how he's this amazing businessman for the company, but really all he is a base-level employee still, right? What does him being a base-level employee have to do with anything? It's already incredible that he gets to work for the largest company in the city right now. And you always make it seem like you have all this money at home, but from what I've been able to tell, you don't work a job. I used to work full-time. I used to be a private secretary back in the day. Back in the day, right? That means currently the two of us are both housewives, right? So I have no freaking idea why you keep looking down on me when we're both riding the same wave. If you were going to complain so much about the food I was making, then why didn't you go ahead and cook for all of us last night? But of course, you probably can't do anything properly with those long and disgusting nails of yours. You stop that! I'm sorry for mentioning anything about the cooking last night. What? You just apologized for something. I never thought you'd be able to learn how to do that. Can you please go and explain all of this to Rob? I cannot have him hating me now after this. I want a new house, so there's no way I can have him hating me. That's right. Both of them just finished up talking to one another about you and your husband. He said that he's going to get all that money he's been lending to you guys back really soon. Huh? From our wedding? He wasn't just paying for that out of kindness? No, he's told me that he just lent you guys the money until you could both pay him back. That's what he had told his son back then, so I'm surprised you never heard about this. Yet again, though, you and him don't like to talk about anything that has to do with the family. You're lying, right? We can't even afford to have a house built for us, and now he wants us to pay him back for the wedding? Are you guys trying to steal all our money or something? Yesterday, Jaden overheard something you and your husband were talking about. Something about him having to quit his job. What? And that's the reason you both came back for the 4th of July after being out of touch for 2 years. You guys wanted more of his dad's money. You have it all wrong. Wait, my husband quit his job? What? Well, it looks like things haven't been too elite for you both back at home after all. Let's just hope those titles of being elites are able to carry you out of the fire you've started there. I know that you liked to call me a parasite for living here with Jaden's parents. But who were the real ones that came here to leech off his parents? Well, that's too bad, though, because your host is getting rid of you both for good. Do your best supporting yourselves for once, you heaps of trash. In the end, it was in fact the truth I said to Mila about her husband having quit his job, and when he went and told her again about it, she freaked out. When it came to our in-laws, they also chose to cut ties to them for good. And from that, Rob would neither be helping pay for a new house to be built, nor would he be giving them any more money. And instead, he asked for the both of them to pay all that money he lent for the wedding back. After a few weeks of the four of us having cut ties to those two, I've noticed that things in the family have been a lot more peaceful, as we no longer need to ever think about them.
Hey, Jane. I've got something to tell you. It looks like Kelly has decided to get married. It looks like she's trying to get him to come over to the house. Maybe she wants to introduce her new fiance to us.
Hey, oh, really? Kelly actually wants to go through with it? This must be a blessing in disguise. Wow, she can finally pack her things and move out. Good riddance, I say.
What's that supposed to mean? That she can finally do that? That's true. Tell your true feelings about it, why don't you?
I can't help but do that, to be honest. I'm already so exhausted from Kelly's daily attacks. She's a bit vicious. I'd really appreciate it if she left sooner rather than later. It'll feel like a weight's been taken off my shoulders.
Yeah, she really likes having a go at you, doesn't she? She thinks that because we all live together, that she can do that.
She seems to give me the impression that all high school graduates sit at the bottom of society.
What are you talking about? It doesn't matter about what your educational background is, Jane. I told her that you're a boss and in charge of a lot of people.
You realize that she's not going to believe anything like that, right? I guess she's just making things easier to comprehend. That high school graduates don't accomplish anything and have crappy, low-paying jobs in society. I guess we can't help the way she thinks about things. Her thinking isn't going to change anytime soon.
Well, once she gets married and moves out of the house, she might finally calm down and not hassle you so much.
Yeah, perhaps. Your mother insisted that we both live together, but it doesn't make it right for her to treat me this way in the house. This might be the best time to do that. I'm looking forward to meeting her new fiance. It's going to be a very interesting conversation.
Right, okay. Talk to her if you can about how you feel. I hope we can give her a proper goodbye so that she'll want to leave and not move back in.
Oh, it's going to be. Don't you worry about that, but there's a lot of things I want to confront Kelly about. Well, it looks like I'm getting married. You know, I kept telling you to leave, but you didn't listen to me. You decided to ignore me instead. I never thought that I'd have to be the one to move out. This is so annoying. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, but I'm not going to be the one who has to leave. Also, congratulations on your marriage. I hope that you do your best by him, and good luck with everything that comes your way. I hope you'll both be happy. You don't need to tell me to be happy because I already am. I've already got all the luck in the world. You don't have to say such things. I'm not going to be a burden to my husband like you've been. I'm a highly educated woman. We're so different that you're not even on the same level as me. All you're good for is nothing, high school graduate. Oh, is that so? Please, feel free to tell me everything you know since you're so smart. What's your point here, Kelly? What's so fun about looking down on someone like me? Am I your enemy? No, I'm just embarrassed that I had to live under the same roof as you, Jane. Don't you understand how highly educated I am? I'm going to invite my fiance over to our place. I think it's just going to be gross having to meet you face to face. How else am I supposed to explain our differences, huh? Well, when you introduce me to people, why don't you just say to them that this is the sister-in-law who lives with me? Why do you have to mention my educational background or make me feel so low? Because otherwise, people wouldn't understand what I'm going through by living with some lowlife. Don't you get that? My fiance is the son of a company boss, for goodness sake. What the heck happened to you? Okay, yeah, I've heard about this so many times from you, Kelly. What's that got to do with me exactly? Okay. You saying that is the reason why high school graduates like you are the bottom of society. You know nothing. I'm inviting him over to our house so that he can meet everyone. Since you're such a lowlife, I might as well introduce you as our house servant. What the heck did you just say to me? Did you just call me your house servant? Are you kidding me, Kelly? What else am I supposed to call you? There's no other use for you in this house, so you might as well be a servant, right? The only things you're good at doing is preparing meals and doing the housework. You're more or less a servant. Now just hold on a minute there, Kelly. Have you always thought of me as your slave since I moved in with Joel and the family? I don't understand. Am I wrong about you being our servant? You're just Jane, the good-for-nothing house servant. That's a terrible thing to say to someone who belongs in this family. Why the heck would you call me a servant when I'm not? Well, you do nothing to contribute to the household, Jane. I need to tell my fiancé that it's okay to use you as a servant. Otherwise, people might assume that our family's ranked at the bottom of society if they knew you were a part of the household. Nobody would ever think that. You're just a terrible person for calling me that. I am not a servant, nor will I ever be one to you. Aw, but why? I didn't say anything wrong, did I? Stop denying what you should be doing for our family. I'm just trying to say that you can't call me that. You're so cruel and never think before you speak. Look, I don't care what you think of me, Jane. My fiancé's coming over the day after tomorrow. Please leave before he arrives at the doorstep. I'm not leaving. I'm allowed to be here. I've got the day after tomorrow off, so I think I'll stay at home. I'll just take this opportunity to greet your fiancé. Didn't you say that he's the son of a company president? I don't know what company he works for, but I might be involved with it in the future. What the heck are you talking about, Jane? Why would a high school graduate get involved with a business that my fiancé will own someday? You're not seriously trying to become some hotshot company boss, are you? That is a dream you'll never achieve. It's not a dream of mine, Kelly. I actually am a company boss. You obviously don't know me very well. It's nothing special since almost everyone can become a boss of a company. Personally, I wouldn't want to work for a company where the boss is only a female high school graduate. Well, I wouldn't want to work for someone like you anyway, Kelly. You don't really give me good team player vibes. Wait, what? What's that supposed to mean? You don't even own a company, so you can't say something like that. I don't know how much plainer I can be about the topic, but I suppose I was being rude, wasn't I? Oh well. But it seems like we're trying to say the same sort of thing, so there's no problem. Anyways, I'm looking forward to meeting your fiancé the day after tomorrow. It should be a good time. I made sure to tell my fiancé about the proper role you have in this household. What did you tell him about me? What are you even talking about, Kelly? Are you making things up again? No, of course not. I told him to feel free to use my sister-in-law as a servant since all she's accomplished in life was high school and that's it. If you really don't want to leave the house, then I should be able to call you my servant. You're good for nothing else. I can't help that. Please work hard today as our slave so that we can impress my fiancé when he gets here. Did you seriously just call me a slave? Don't you know what kind of connotations that brings out nowadays, Kelly? Do you have no shame? I can't believe you're not thinking about what you're saying to me. You can't just call me that. Why would I have any shame? Come on, Jane. All you are is a good-for-nothing high school graduate. I can call you whatever I like. My sister-in-law has accomplished nothing, and you're also a bad wife. You're nothing but a slave to our family. If you understand what I'm telling you, you'd calm down and work for my family as a servant. Ugh, you are literally being such a pain, Kelly. It seems like there's no point in saying anything to you anymore. I'll probably end up regretting not saying anything, but that's not my fault. But in a roundabout way, it is. It's not fair. Oh, boo-hoo, Jane. My fiancé, who's the future boss of his company, is coming over to the house now. I'm going to introduce you as a low-ranking house servant instead of my sister-in-law. Just a no-good high school graduate. Wow. Okay, don't hold back, Kelly. I'm still looking forward to meeting the guy. At least he'll see what you're like. Don't even think about being rude in front of him. Good luck today, slave. You're going to need it with the mess we're going to make of the house. You know what I'm really looking forward to, Kelly? How long you can keep up this attitude that you've got. Just hang on a minute. What's going on here? You need to give me an explanation right now. What is the meaning of this? Wow, it was so funny when your fiance started shaking when he saw me. It was like he was nervous or something. It seems like it's been a while since I had seen someone get all panicky in front of me. I feel bad for the guy, but it meant that I was able to see something very interesting. What's interesting? What are you talking about, Jane? Are you making fun of him? Do you have any idea how much you've embarrassed me today? I seriously can't believe this. I guess it must have been my fault that everyone got so embarrassed. I just so happened to work at the same place as your fiance. I just so happened to be the president and also was once a good customer of them as well. There is absolutely no way that that could be true. You definitely would never make it as a boss of a company. Well, you should be able to tell from the attitude that your fiance had that it's true, right? He got so mad about how you were treating me that he made you kneel down on the ground and apologize at my feet. And even after that, you still don't think it's true? What's wrong with you, Kelly? I can't believe what happened. I can't believe that someone would make me kneel on the floor and make me apologize. Well, so you should have, since you said something that made me fall to the floor in anger. You called me a slave and even told your fiancé about it. But why should I be the one to have to get on my knees? I hardly did anything wrong. What did I ever truly do to you? I was just speaking the truth. There's no way that I'm going to help you out with this one if you don't even know what you've done wrong. Well, you didn't have any right to tell him not to marry me. How could you say that? When you told him that, he immediately wanted to call off the engagement. I'm absolutely devastated. How could you do this to someone? How could I do what to someone? Speak the truth about how you've treated me? I was just thinking out loud, to be honest. You're so insensitive. How could you do this to me? What a terrible thing to say to someone's fiancé. What's your problem with me? Why do you always cause me so much trouble? You don't need to say those things. It wasn't necessary. You're just telling lies, aren't you, to make yourself look good? I'm being insensitive? Really? Even though you called me a slave? What are you even talking about, Kelly? What lies are you even referring to? It's impossible for a high school graduate to get a top position in a company, so we're obviously talking about someone else, right? I know that you're criticizing my marriage. Why do you have to do that? I'm sorry you think I'm doing that to you, Kelly. I'm not talking about anyone else but myself here. I'm the one who's the boss of a company, so I don't get why it's so hard for you to believe that. Are you still going on about this? This conversation's going round and round in circles. Or did you actually know I was the boss and you just didn't want that to be true because you'd look like such a terrible person for bullying someone, right? Yes, I did know about it, but I thought that you were more of a self-proclaimed president to make yourself look more important. I can't believe you actually run a company, even though you're only a high school graduate. It makes no sense. Just because I didn't go to college, it doesn't mean that I can't do anything with my life. You criticize people so much based on their education. It's annoying. Even high school graduates can succeed if they take things seriously and give their chance a good shot like I did. You only seem to care about someone's academic history, and you're so picky when it comes to jobs. You only end up looking like a half-hearted part-time worker. Why do you always have a go at me for my educational background? How dare you talk to me like that? What are you getting at? You can treat me like this? What do you mean by me being half-hearted? Even though you register for a position and get dispatched to that position you applied for, you get picky and don't like the way things are done. If you turn around and say it's not a good fit for you, you just quit right away. What a waste of time for the company in hiring you. You frequently quit jobs and blame that it doesn't suit you, but it's because you're lazy and don't want to work. All you want to do is live off of someone else for the rest of your life so you don't have to do hard work. That's not true at all. You know nothing about me. Stop making up crap about me. You can't say much either. I work a lot harder than you do, Kelly. Then why don't you explain to me what it is that you do? All I'm trying to do is find a job that's right for me. I just want to find a job that matches my abilities. Okay, sure. I guess I should believe you, but I think that's crap, Kelly. Hey, if there's something that I'm interested in and I like it, I'll stick with it, and I'll do so for a very long time. My guess is that you'll never find anything you like, and you'll just use others to get what you want. It's because I'm just too good for all the jobs that I've tried to do, okay? I've got world-class abilities. Isn't it more to do with just having too high of a standard and thinking you're better than you actually are? Not a question of your abilities. What are you even on about, Jane? That makes no sense. What's so wrong with having a high standard anyways? It's not good having such high expectations, Kelly. It makes you look like you're too good for everyone and that you're snubbing them. You don't have any world-class abilities. You're just picky and lazy. This is what happens when you think your ideals are the most important. When are you going to realize that you've got no special abilities and actually just find a job and stick to it? Rude much? It's not entirely impossible. I just haven't found my exact ability yet, okay? Don't you know that I graduated from a super prestigious university? Doesn't that make me special? And your point is what exactly? I don't think your university actually matters to probably most people. Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Going to that university makes me special and elite, no? Okay, yeah, you worked hard to get into a famous university. I'm not going to take that away from you. But does going to a university that's famous really determine if you're going to succeed in life, or be an elite or wealthy? I heard that you quit the company that you joined only a month after graduating from university. Since then, you've been jumping from job to job a lot. How does that make you elite? Don't you want to move up the career ladder? You've got to stay at a job for a long time to do that. All you've done recently is quit your previous job to be a so-called home security guard. What is that anyway? You turn around and say that you can't help with the housework even though you're at home. You don't even do anything like that, which is just lazy, to be honest with you. How dare you try to make fun of me? At least I try. All you are is a high school graduate. You never went to college like I did. How does that not make me a successful person, huh? I got the best education in the country, if not the world. Oh, don't talk crap, Kelly. Just because you got into a good school, it doesn't mean you're automatically going to be successful. I might have only graduated high school, but annual income's a lot higher than yours. I do wonder how many times more it is. Your income at the moment is, well, 0, so I can't really calculate it as such. There's absolutely no comparison. I'm still in the early stages of my life. I've got time to find a really good job. I'm still young, unlike you old hag. If I get married, I'll get rich that way because I'll marry a man who makes lots of money. So someone's educational background doesn't matter anymore as long as they make a lot of money? Shut up, Jane. There's no need to be a smart aleck to me. That's what I plan to do, so I'll do it. Aw, did that hurt your poor little heart? You're literally a walking contradiction, Kelly. You looked down on me because of my academic history. What makes you think you won't do the same when it comes to looking for a husband? If you think you'll end up getting married, I see no problem with that. Someone's academic history just won't matter anymore, even if it's to find your ideal husband. Okay, I get it. You dare call me a slave, even though I work hard at my company and you do nothing all day. What a load of trash. I guess it causes you so much pain to see how unsuccessful you are compared to me. Oh, you think you're causing me pain? I can throw it right back at you. What are you going to do for me? What am I supposed to do if my marriage doesn't work out? You need to take responsibility for ruining my relationship with my fiance. Will you even do that? Me? Take responsibility? Are you kidding me? I just spoke the truth while you lied through your teeth. Do I really need to take the blame? Of course you do. You ruined my marriage. I was going to marry that guy and all you had to do was leave the house and you didn't. You're at fault here. Because of what you said to him, our marriage is in doubt. You do realize that, right? Say that it's your fault, Jane. Wow, it really satisfies you to put all the blame on me, doesn't it? Even though I told your fiancé the truth and you told him I'm a slave. Really, Kelly? I'm only responsible for what I said, so you should be too, correct? Are you kidding me with this crap? What are you trying to say? You called me, your own sister-in-law, a slave. What a horrible thing to do. And you told him I'm just an outsider. I don't know which one is more embarrassing, do you? It's a really stupid and just an inexcusable thing to say to someone who's married into the family. I thought we would get along when I moved in. Well, there's not much more to say than that. Look, it was wrong of me to call you a slave. It's not like I had any bad intentions. It was just a joke, you know? I don't get why you're so angry about this when all I was doing was teasing you. I know it's not the actual truth. I I just wanted to have a little bit of fun since it gets so boring around here sometimes. I'm not angry about it, just really disappointed that someone would stoop so low to say something like this to another person. There are honestly too many idiots like you in the world that show no remorse and just say whatever they want and forget the other person's feelings. You even told me to leave the house, my own house that I live in with my husband. Why should I have to go? This house is also in my name. My mother-in-law asked me to live with you all, and she let me live here out of compassion. If you want me to leave, then you can tell me that after you've got your own house. You'll know soon enough what it feels like to be kicked out of your own home, okay? Whoa, just back up a minute. I don't believe that this house is in your name. Why is it in your name? You really underestimated me. I'm a boss of a company, Kelly. Didn't you know that I'm capable of making decisions like this? You know what? I don't care what you say to me now. Your words don't really hurt me anymore. Please leave the house immediately. You're not welcome here. Wait, what? Are you for real? Why can't I stay here? Are you seriously kicking me out right now? Are you insane? Are you trying to kick me out onto the streets? Well, why shouldn't I, considering the way you've been treating me? You deserve it, to be honest. Don't you know that my marriage is ruined because of you? I've got nowhere to go now. I was going to marry a successor of a company, for goodness sake. You called me a slave, Kelly. You said I was a lowlife who never accomplished anything. I've accomplished more than you, and I didn't even go to college. You were the one who was making up lies and saying things that didn't make sense. You've been the problem this entire time. No matter what way you look at it, it's not my fault at all. I'm the victim in all of this. I can do what I want in this situation, and I am telling you to leave this house. But I was going to get married, and now everything's ruined. Where do I go when you kick me out? I don't know. That's a problem you need to solve on your own. Perhaps find a job that earns you money? You're an awful person, and I never want to have anything to do with you ever again. You've always been a cruel sister-in-law. You can't just say those sorts of things about me. Please, just wait a minute, Jane. What did my brother say about this? He said that he's very disappointed in your behavior towards me. He finds it disgusting. I don't understand. Why would he say something like that to his little sister? He's always said nice things about me. Well, he's no longer wearing his rose-tinted glasses anymore. He sees you for what you truly are, which is rude and cruel. Don't you remember calling me a slave or something? Do you have short-term memory loss, Kelly? No one in this house wants you here. You're officially cut off. Don't even think that you can come back into the family. You've ruined your chances of doing that. Please, no, you can't kick me out. I'm the baby of the family. Please don't cut me off. I'm sorry for what I said to you. Don't do this. I'll make up for it. It's too late for that, Kelly. You blew it. Anyways, I've got things to do. Goodbye. Good luck finding a job. You'll need one to survive. I hope you've learned your lesson. In the end, Kelly's marriage fell apart and apparently was kicked out of the house not long after that. Kelly went crying to Jane and Joel and her parents, but she was only lectured to, and they ignored her pleas to move back in. They told her that she had gone too far this time. They told her that she couldn't rely on them again and was kicked out of the family home. Kelly left the house and had no choice but to live on the streets. She got herself lost wandering the streets of the city and thought about how dumb she was. It seemed that she finally realized how bad her words were, but even so-called elite people like her don't get their own way all the time. She was disappointed that she couldn't get a decent job or find a house to live in. She's currently working part-time as a live-in worker to make ends meet. It seems like she's not living a life of a successful person. It's the result of her own actions. She got too snobby for her own good.